Today I'm taking a look back at Scarface, Brian De Palma's 1983 crime epic that follows the rise and fall of Tony Montana, a Cuban immigrant who claws his way to the top of his own Miami drug empire. While most people walk out of Scarface marveling at its excess, its violence, and its unforgettable quotes like, "Say hello to my little friend," I was left with something else. A debilitating, all-consuming fear of being murdered with a chainsaw while tied up in a shower. I know Scarface is supposed to be a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the brutal consequences of the drug trade, but all I could think about during and after the film was that horrifying chainsaw scene. You know the one. Tony and his friend Angel find themselves in a Miami hotel room, negotiating a drug deal with some shady Colombians. But things quickly take a horrifying turn when Tony is handcuffed to a shower rod and forced to watch as Angel is dismembered by a chainsaw, a detail that has, frankly, haunted me ever since. I've seen a lot of violence in movies, shootouts, stabbings, explosions, you name it, but nothing has shaken me to my core, quite like the scene where Tony is helplessly chained to that shower, unable to move, all while the roaring sound of a chainsaw fills the room. The image of Angel, splattered with blood, screaming in agony, as the chainsaw rips through him. It's the stuff of nightmares. And ever since watching it, I can't shake the fear that I too could somehow, someday, find myself tied up in a filthy bathroom, waiting for the unthinkable to happen. Since watching Scarface, I've become hyper-aware of chainsaws in general. Hearing one in the distance, whether it's for tree trimming or construction, immediately sends me into an absolute panic. I imagine the roar of the engine growing closer, the door to my house bursting open, and, well, you get the picture. It's not a healthy way to live, but here we are. Even routine household items like hedge trimmers or even electric toothbrushes now give me pause. Anything that sounds remotely like a chainsaw is enough to make me check that my doors are still locked. I've even caught myself eyeing the layout of bathrooms when I'm out, mentally rehearsing escape routes in case things take a dark turn. It's exhausting. And honestly, I'm not sure if any movie is worth this level of paranoia. Some people come out of Scarface inspired by Tony Montana's drive, his unbreakable will to rise from nothing to become the king of Miami. Others might see it as a larger-than-life cautionary tale about the perils of power and wealth. But for me, it's a horror movie, a psychological assault. When I think of Scarface, I don't think of The World Is Yours or that iconic pile of white powder. I think of Tony, powerless in that bathroom. And I think of myself, equally powerless, peeking nervously out my window at every lawn care crew that dares to fire up a chainsaw near my street. So, is Scarface a classic? Absolutely. But for me, it's also an unfortunate trigger for what I can only describe as chainsaw-based PTSD. Perhaps that's the real genius of Brian De Palma's direction. He didn't just give us a drug-fueled gangster epic, he gave me a lifetime's worth of irrational anxiety. Thanks, Brian. Anyway, I'm Glenn Tubman, and I'll see you at the cinema.